You don't have to touch anything, Diane. So Alex, you might want to just take that one from the end, so if you need to speak, you don't have to jump up and get it, and just keep it there.
He's gonna be able to pick me up from here.
You'll probably have to hold it. Yeah. Like press conference style, yeah.
Charlie, did you get my email saying that I'll call you, or are you where you can be reached by cell?
Yep. I'm just at the end. I just don't have anyone to cover. So I will be available on cell phone.
Okay, so that's cool. Thank you.
Yeah, no, that's. Yeah, that's what happened.
What's going on? Just, kids after school programs, getting them home, back on the road. Yeah, but 4:59. You made it.
You're exactly on time.
It's very appropriate. This is what we want.
Yeah, it's so, such nice weather.
It's so
Unlike
nice.
it.
I'm
Thank
enjoying
you all
it.
for coming. I am going to call the meeting to order. It's 5 o'clock. You are both here for a case. You're not here for, the three of you are here for, yes. Okay, so we have no other visitors or public comments. Who is in the blue shirt? Oh, that's Anthony. Mr. Lopez,
Hello.
thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so we have no additions to the agenda. So I would like a approval of the minutes. Would somebody like to make a motion, please? Minutes of August 4th.
I move to approve.
Thank you, Crystal. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you.
Second it.
All in favor? Cheryl, I.
Crystal, I.
John,
Charlie, aye.
Thank you all. Excellent. Okay. So we will be beginning with opening the hearing. Mr. Lopez, on your application 2025-144, property address is 22 Kidner Lane. And you are the owner. The proposal is an after-the-fact request for approval of short-term rental of a 5-bedroom house in the commercial residential district. We will be looking at applicable code sections, Article 2, Section 221, 222, 223, 224, 226, 227, 271, 272. Article 4, Section 420, 440, 450E. Article 7, Section 710, 720, 721, 722, and 730A, D, and H. Would you please raise your right hand? Do you swear the testimony you provide is the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you so much. We will be doing this with Crystal as your case manager, and I'm going to turn it over to her.
Can you hear me okay?
I can.
Okay, great. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is start out by reading the list of exhibits that we have associated with your application. I have number 1 as the cover sheet, number 2, the zoning permit staff report, number 3, the warning for this hearing, number 4, I have the application for DRB review, which is 3 pages long. Number 5, I have an STR safety checklist that was completed by you. Number 6, I have a site plan for the property. Number 7, a lister property card that's 2 pages. Number 8, layout diagrams for the house. There's a total of 3 pages of those diagrams. Number 9, a site plan for the property with the designated parking spaces indicated. Number 10, list of abutters with the date stamp of 7/14 for the notice mailing. Is there anything else that anyone has that should be part of the application?
Nope, thank you.
Okay. So, Anthony, before we get started, if you could just briefly explain what it is that you would like to do with your property.
I'd like to short-term rent it as a ski house.
Okay. And it's an after the fact application, meaning you have been renting it.
That isn't accurate. I just bought it in October and I
Okay.
have not rented it at all.
Okay, as in this October or last October?
October 2024.
Okay, great, thank you.
That makes sense. That was confusing.
All right. So as Cheryl mentioned, there's several articles that we review. Article 2 and all the sections that she listed are the administrative procedures associated with the Development Review Board. Talks about what you need to submit for an application, how the DRB meets, what sorts of information we would need, what things come to us, how to appeal if you don't agree with the decision, and just a lot of the administrative parts of the zoning. Do you have any questions about Article 2 or anything that's in there?
I do not.
Okay, great. So Article 4 is the districts and the uses here in Wilmington. Your property is within the commercial residential district, which is why we're going to reference section 450E. The property, we have your tax map parcel ID, and the use of short-term rental with 5 bedrooms or more is a conditional use in the residential district, which is permitted with DRB written decision and approval, which is why you're here talking to us. Do you have any questions about the district that you're in or any questions about conditional uses?
I do not.
Okay. Article 7 goes into specific standards that apply to development that happens in the town of Wilmington. We're going to start with section 710, which are use performance standards. The first one is in regard to vibrations. If you rent the house as a short-term rental, do you anticipate any continuous, permanent, ongoing, or frequent vibration that is discernible at the property line?
I do not understand what vibrations mean.
You're gonna have a large
Movement.
band with a heavy-duty bass? Or are you gonna do any big power equipment?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Most people answer.
Yeah, generally the answer is no, unless there's something,
Yeah.
unique that we need to know about. All right, so in section 710B is going to be for noise. There cannot be any continuous, permanent, ongoing, or frequent noise in excess of that of a normal conversation at the property line. Recurring periodic noise in excess of a normal lawnmower at the property line is allowed, provided that it does not occur between the hours of 9 p.m. and 7 a.m., which are the town of Wilmington's quiet hours. There cannot have significant sound that diminishes or detracts from other properties' allowed use or land development. Are you aware that there is quiet hours in the town of Wilmington?
I am now.
Great. And we would like for you to testify that you will notify your guests of this ordinance in whatever platform that you rent to them through.
I will.
Great. Does the DRB have any questions about noise?
Nope.
Let's see. C doesn't apply, which is air emissions for commercial operations, but D, we'll just ask if you're going to do anything that will create electromagnetic, liquid, solid, refuse, or waste, heat, cold, dampness, explosive, fire, glare, or other hazard, which could cause injury or damage to human or animal health, vegetation, or property. Will you have any of those items?
I will not.
Great. All right, so next we're going to look at the general standards from section 721. Basically, we just want to make sure that the use of a short-term rental won't have any adverse effect on the following things. So things like the impact on traffic, roads, highways, or pedestrian walkways, any sort of air quality or the character or aesthetics or the scenic value of your neighborhood. Are there other short-term rentals that you're aware of in your neighborhood or your area?
Not that I'm aware of.
I believe we have for our next hearing, another Lopez, maybe your neighbor, maybe a relative.
He is a relative, but he hasn't. He's not renting yet, so hopefully he gets approved as well.
Well, he is going to be talking to us on the 20th, correct?
So do you anticipate any negative impact on the area by using the house as a short-term rental?
No.
I think we have your drawings and we'll look at that later with regards to parking and things like that and flow of cars. All right, section 722 is conditional use, preserving the character of our town. Again, it's just part of the DRB's responsibility to make sure that development and uses preserve the character of our small town with its rural and agricultural heritage. Let's see here. I don't have any specific questions about those ones. All right, we're going to look at the specific standards, which is section 730. Talk to me about any lighting that you have on the exterior of your home.
So there's a 2 LED lights on the entrance for,
Okay.
and also there is those floodlights at the top. It detects by motion.
Okay. And those are set to just come on anytime someone pulls in or gets.
The motion one turns on when it has motion, and that was there. The LED lights at the entryway are set to turn on from dusk till dawn.
Okay. And are you adding any additional lighting beyond the lights you just described?
I don't have any plans to.
Okay. Have you had any complaints from any neighbors about the lighting and its impact on their properties?
I have not.
All right, so parking, it looks like, I'm gonna pull up your drawing, but based on the zoning ordinance, the number of parking spaces required for short-term rentals is 0.75 spots per room. So that would require 3.75 spots for a 5-bedroom listing. It looks like in your exhibit, you have 4, is that correct? 4 parking spaces listed?
That is correct.
Okay, so that meets the requirement. I'm just gonna take a quick look at it here. 1, 2. 3. Okay, great. And have you had 4 cars in that configuration before?
Not personally,
Okay, but you feel confident that it's sufficient space?
absolutely.
Okay, great. All right, water and potable water. The Wilmington property card, which you provided, Exhibit 6, indicates that the home is listed as a 5-bedroom home, and it was built before 2007. Does that sound accurate to you?
Sounds accurate.
And could you tell me a little bit about the septic system? Are you aware of any failures or issues with that system?
I'm aware of no failures with their system.
Okay, and it's set for the required pumpings as needed.
I wouldn't be able to answer that because I don't have any paperwork on the septic system.
Okay,
But the previous owner did tell me that they've had many people in the house and never had a problem with their septic system.
and are you on a well for your water?
I am on a well, yes.
All right, did we have a question about the occupancy? Or based on the clean slate rule?
I don't see anything, no.
All right,
Because he's got 5 on the,
yeah,
lister's card, so I think he's fine.
all right. All right, does anyone on the DRB have any additional questions about the?
Charlie, any questions? Diane,
No. I'm good.
John?
All right, Mr. Lopez, that's the end of my inquiries. Thank you for answering my questions, and yeah, I'll hand it back over to Cheryl.
I'm going to just ask you, do you have any questions for us?
I do not.
Okay, thank you so much. So we will close your hearing and we will deliberate. Once we come to a decision, we will give that decision to the zoning administrator and he will get in touch with you and send it to you.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for coming
Appreciate
in. So your hearing is closed. Thank you, Crystal. Sure. Okay, we will now open the hearing on 92 Westlake Road. So if you would like to all come up or drag another chair or whatever you guys want to do. Thank you. And Diane,
Yeah.
Yes.
Diane Havoc Macy, yeah.
so, okay, so I was just making sure about the last name.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, and Eric, obviously.
Yep.
So Eric is your agent.
Yes, who will represent me, yes.
Thank you. We're opening the hearing on application 2025-159. The property address is 92 Westlake Road. And Diane, you are here as owner, and Eric, you are here as agent. The proposal is a 6x8 addition to the existing residential structure that would not meet the front setback requirements in the residential district. The applicable code sections are Article 2, Section 221, 222, 223, 224, 226, 227, 229, 232, 234, 271, 272. Article 4, Section 440, 444, and 450C. And Article 7, Section 706, 710, 720, 721, 722, 730K. Did I leave anything out? Did you find something that I left out?
2:30.
230, yes, I knew there was something. And 230. So would you please both raise your right hand, and do you swear the testimony you provide is the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you so much. I'm going to turn it over to John. He is our case manager for this, and he will be going through everything with you.
Good evening. So we're going to go through a very similar process that you just heard that Crystal led the other applicant through. And there's different questions with respect to your application because of the non-conforming nature of your property and the addition. But other than that, it's a very similar process to what you just heard. So the first thing I'm going to do is go through the exhibits. Please let me know if I missed any exhibits. So the first exhibit is the Town of Wilmington cover sheet. Exhibit 2 is the zoning permit staff report. Exhibit 3 is the warning. Exhibit 4 is the application for DRB review, which is 3 pages. Exhibit 5 is the proposed site plan for 92 Westlake Road, which is 2 pages. Exhibit 6 is emails to and from Eric Craven, Ray Shoreline Protection, 3 pages. Exhibit 7 is an emails to and from Marshall Dix, Town of Wilmington Road Supervisor, related to the impact of proposed addition on the town's right of way. And finally, Exhibit 8 is the abutters list and posted date for notice mailing. Is there anything missing?
Doesn't sound like it. No.
Okay. Do you want to describe this case to the board?
Yeah, so we've got a really tricky existing non-conforming lot on Westlake Road. It's, basically 100 by 115 to 150 feet deep from the road to the water's edge. The lot has a change of elevation of 62 feet from the front of the lot to the back of the lot, so down towards the lake. It's a very, very steep lot. The existing house has already been granted from the select board back, many years ago. Permission to have part of the house actually within the right of way. So that was, in the deed when I did my pre-design research. So, what they want to do is add a small addition to expand their kitchen. The proposed addition would not encroach on the setback more than the house already does, because the house actually already fully encroaches on the setback. And there's really not any other place. We can't really build off the back of the house, because the back of the house is actually cantilevered out off of a steel platform supported by steel posts that are anchored into the ledge face of like a cliff. So I had a picture of the existing house on this plan here, on the elevations and floor plan sheet. Mm-hmm. And if you want to see it bigger, I have it printed out. I'll just open this just in case you want to take a look at it. But it's that's the house. So there's the lake way down on this side.
Yep.
So it's a very steep cliff, and we're trying to put the addition, and basically we're up against where the existing kitchen already is, and just expand the kitchen a small amount to make it a little more usable. It would be, like I said, it would be encroaching on the setback less than what the house does now, so it wouldn't be a further encroachment. I did see a section 431 of the code that seems to allow a non-conforming structure to have an addition to it if it doesn't increase the degree of non-conformity. So, that's 431 and then A, 4 and 5, so in the zoning ordinance. That pretty much sums it up. There's going to be no exterior lights on it. We had Marshall Dix come to the site and measure from the center line of the road and check, and he didn't have a problem with what we were doing. Yeah, that's pretty much it. We did talk to Shoreland. Shoreland said it was fine. It's being built above an existing patio, stone wall. It's impervious. The existing surface that it's going over is impervious surface, so you don't need a shoreland permit for it. And even if it was a garden, it would be the registration process, which is really easy because it's out of the 100-foot buffer. It's within the 100 to 200 foot, or no, yeah, it's within the. Oh, yeah, because it's just outside that 100 feet. So it would be within the 100 to 250 foot buffer. But we did talk to them. It's all impervious through that whole area. It's crushed stone and stone wall, and it's a teeny addition, but they didn't have a problem with it. And yeah, that I think sums it up pretty much.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Great. Thank you very much for that detailed synopsis. Let's go through, we're going to go through the different articles now. And so we're going to start with Article 2, which is our administrative procedures. That basically describes why you're here today before the DRB, the appeals process, the fact that other people, if they wanted to, could testify as parties of interest, Also, there are a couple sections that are applicable specifically to your project. In that section 229, which is dimension and sign waivers granted by the Development Review Board. Section 230, structural enlargements not requiring a dimension waiver from the DRB. Section 232, criteria for obtaining a dimensional waiver from the DRB. And section 234, dimensional and sign waiver application review process of the Development Review Board. So those are specifically applicable to this case. Do you have any questions about the administrative procedures?
No.
Great. So next we're going to go on to Article 4, which is the districts and uses. So this property is in the residential district, which is section 450C. The property is identified on the tax map parcel as 22-21-013. The primary use is currently residential. Is that correct?
That's right.
There's no other information that we need for that. So we'll now move on to the Article 7 standards, which is where we'll spend most of our time this evening. So the first standard that we're going to deal with is section 706, which is non-conforming structures on developed land and lots. So that describes the process that we have to go through. A non-conforming structure on a developed lot that's going to be modified requires a written decision with the approval of the DRB. And so section 706 sets through some of the criteria that the DRB is supposed to look at when looking at that. So one of the important things here is that on a non-conforming structure, what this is that no alteration, renovation, or change shall exceed 30 feet to the highest point of the ridge line. Is any alteration going to be higher than 30 feet?
No.
So another component of this, 706E, a non-conforming structure on a developed lot may be altered, renovated, or changed in any direction for any reason with the written decision and approval of the DRB, provided that the change to the non-conforming element of the structure remains within the footprint of the original non-conforming element or feature, including any overhangs or cantilever. And I believe, and you said that this was going to be within the footprint of the stone patio. Is that correct?
Yeah. Well, it's like stone features there. There's like a stone patio, stone wall, there's stone steps. It's a very steep site, so there's a lot of landscape work and stuff that's been done around there, so you can kind of come down the hill and keep going down to the lake because it's 62 feet of vertical.
But it's going to be within that footprint.
Yes.
Okay, good. And so because of that, really doesn't increase the degree of nonconformity, because it's, as you already testified, it is non-conforming, but it's not increasing that in any way. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. The rest of 706 really talks about the evidence you need to provide of the footprint, but I think their site plans have provided enough evidence with respect to that. Let's see, is there anything else I need to cover? Okay, so now we're going to go through the section 17 use performance standards, which we just heard about 5 minutes ago. The first one, which can trip people up, is there going to be any vibration with respect to the addition? So continuous, permanent, ongoing, or frequent vibration that is discernible at the property line?
No.
Okay.
Making smoothies in the morning doesn't.
Is there going to be any noise, continuous, permanent, ongoing, or frequent noise in excess of that of a normal conversation that would exist beyond the property line?
No.
Going to maintain quiet hours from 9 p.m. to 7 a.m.
Of course.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. Is there going to be any emission of dust, ash, smoke, or other particulate matter that can cause damage to human or animal health, vegetation, or property by reason of concentration or toxicity? Any contaminants related to the addition? Any solid or liquid particulates in concentrations exceeding state standards?
No.
Any odorous matters?
No.
Okay. Is there going to be any injurious or noxious practices? No operation of use shall create electromagnetic, liquid, or solid refuse or waste, heat, cold, dampness, explosive, fire, glare, or other hazard which will cause injury or damage to human or animal health, vegetation, or property.
No.
Okay, those are the 710 use performance standards. So now we're going to jump to section 721, which is the general standards. So the proposed use shall protect against adverse effect on the capacity of existing or planned community, municipal, or education facilities. This isn't really significantly changing the property. The only one I will raise is the impact on traffic, roads, highways, transportation systems, pedestrians, walkways in the vicinity. But you did provide, or I should say the zoning administrator provided an email from our road supervisor, Marshall Dix, indicating that he had reviewed the property and been out there with you, and that the addition was not adding to the nonconformance of the existing structure. Is that correct?
Yes.
And were you with him when he visited, or?
I wasn't there, but
Okay.
they were.
Oh, you were?
Yes.
All right. Okay. So he indicated he was fine with the addition. So there doesn't seem to be any impact on the roads. There's no air quality issues, no renewable energy issues. So I think we're done with that section. So then we turn to section 730 and in conditional use specific standards, and specifically section 730K, which is shoreline protection. Pursuant to 24 VSA section 441413, all development shall be in conformity with the Shoreline Protection Act, which applies to all development within 250 feet of a body of water greater than or equal to 10 acres. So Lake Raponda is greater. So I believe, Eric, you sent an email to A&R to review this project. And because it was not adding to the impervious surfaces, they were fine with it and did not require a state permit. Okay. That is all I have. Is there any questions from the DRB?
Do you have any questions for us?
Yeah.
I do not.
No.
Okay, super.
I'm good. No questions.
Charlie, any questions?
Nope, I'm all set.
Diane?
No, good, the site plans here.
Yeah, thank you. I will close the hearing at this time, and we will make our decision. This decision will go to Alex, and Alex will then provide you with that decision. So thank you for
Appreciate your
everything.
time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Didn't even need your fancy rulers.
What was that?
Said you didn't even need to use your fancy rulers.
You know, I bring them just in case. I never use them. I never use them.
You never use them. They're comfort.
They're just like sitting around. They're
Eric, when you
showpiece.
don't bring them is when you'll use them.
Yeah, exactly. I decide not to. It's like.
They definitely like look very official though, so
Yeah.
you know, I appreciate that.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
So, Mr. Silverstein, you are with us on the phone, I take it?
Yes, I am. How are you? Thank you.
Thank you so much. We will now open the hearing on application 2025-022. The address is 3 East Main Street. And the owner is 3 to 5 East Main Street LLC. And Mr. Silverstein, you are representing that entity, correct?
Yes.
And the proposal is the demolition and site stabilization in the Village District of Flood Hazard Historic and Design Review Overlay Districts. This is actually we're opening the continuation of the hearing. We are also going to open the continuation of the hearing 2025-023, which is 5 East Main Street. And again, it's 3-5 East Main Street LLC. And Mr. Silverstein, you are representing both of those entities. And this is the proposal is also the demolition and site stabilization in the Village District Flood Hazard Historic and Design Review Overlay Districts. we will be looking at the applicable code sections, which are Article 2, Section 221, 222, 223, 224, 226, 227, 240, 246, 271, 272. Article 4, Section 420, 440, and 450B. Article 5, Section 510, 511, 512, 520, 521, 522, 530, 531, 540. Article 6, Section 602, 609, 620. Article 7, Section 710, 720, 721, 722A, and 723. We'll be looking at those sections for both of these applications. Would you please raise your right hand? And do you swear the testimony you provide is the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you so much. We are going to turn it over to Diane, who has been your case manager throughout, and we will continue with our questioning, and this is also following our site visit.
Thank you, Cheryl. All right, so we actually, I thought we went through quite a bit of this back in April.
I think we did, yeah.
The issue being a lot of these sections would only apply if we had a fully vetted proposed use. In other words, we had site plans and elevations and plans of what we were proposing to do once you took the buildings down. And since we don't have that, we're really only looking at the demolition of the two buildings.
So do you have any additional exhibits for us, Mr. Silverstein? Did you?
No, I'm not prepared to even retain my architect until after I have a demolition approval. You know, obviously I won't knock the buildings down until the plans are submitted, but without the demolition approval, there's no sense in even hiring an architect, which the cost is multiple times in excess of what I'm even into the property for. There's no guarantees here that you're even issuing a demo permit.
So unfortunately, as Diane just said, and as I'm sure you're aware in the ordinance, it does require that before, I know it's a double-edged sword, but it does require in the historic district that we cannot give any kind of approval for something until we know what your plan is. So can you give us any idea of what you're thinking?
Just basically what I said last time. That's what we're trying to do. We're going to develop the property. I'm sorry.
I don't think anything you can give us verbally would be sufficient for us to make a decision.
Right, then it's moot to even explain it at this point then.
So, I mean, again, it is a little bit of a catch here because we can't move forward. Right. The only thing we can look at is your request to take the buildings down. And because the buildings have historic status and are on the National Registry, we are required as the DRB to do that through the zoning ordinance and have to look at it in terms of, you know, is it reasonable and possible to preserve or rehabilitate and restore the historic structures? And what we have from you so far is a engineering report done in 2018 that was prior to two other applications where you submitted plans to do a rehabilitation and restore the two properties, which you were granted permits for, and there's not been a follow through on those two permits for whatever reason, which, you know, again, I understand these things happen. But it does give us great cause to then grant you permission to take down two historic buildings that are in a very sort of premier, and they are, as in fact, in one of your letters, you know, you noted as the buildings serve as a gateway to Wilmington, Vermont. If I could read further, it's an absolute travesty how long they've remained derelict, procuring tax arrears and depressing our beautiful town. And you wrote that 7 years ago.
That's correct.
Yeah, and we're still here.
Yeah, that was before this very same board rejected me for an extremely viable plan over storefront windows that were actually historically appropriate for those buildings, which basically sucked the viability out of those buildings. And that's why I have very, very little confidence in this board, because you already sucked the entire viability out of this project once before. And when we opened up the last meeting together, you, Diane, told me, if I want to knock the buildings down, why don't I just sell them instead? That's how we started it out last time. So this is why I have no confidence in expending all this money on an architect until I have some, approvals to perform demolition. But like I said previously, I will not knock them down until after the plans are actually approved by the state. And of course, the DRB has to look at them as well. But how am I supposed to go ahead and retain an architect for hundreds of thousands of dollars without even having a guarantee that you're going to let me knock these things down? And listen, look at the transcript of what you told me last time.
Excuse me.
So, all right, so let's back up a little bit. All right, so the DRB is tasked with preserving the historic town and its buildings. And I did read through your previous applications and approvals, and part of it, again, is working together. Like if you
Of course.
make a particular decision, there's compromise, there's, we work together, we work as a team because we all have the same interests. We're trying to preserve the historic beauty of the town and the historic structures for everybody's enjoyment and for the prosperity of the town, right? I mean, I think you were very impassioned in your early proposals, and I would love to tap into that again. But I guess I'm hearing there is some distrust maybe on both sides of the table, and that's.
I went into this with very good faith initially, and for no reason, we were rejected originally here on a very viable plan.
So we have to work within the guidelines of the zoning. And again, what we have before us is your request to take the buildings down with no other plan in sight. So we need.
So if you have nothing further, Mr. Silverstein, if you have no more information or no other exhibits, then unless you have questions for us, I will be closing the hearing.
Yeah, and I was saying, in good faith, if I was issued permission to knock them down, I would agree. You could put a stipulation in the permit that I will not perform the demolition unless there was approved plans ready to go, because I have no objection to doing that. I'm here to work with you in that sense. It gives me a guarantee that I'm able to actually pursue this project before I start expending hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Okay, but the issue here is that we are about to lose two very significant buildings in our town. If you can think, everybody who takes a building on in this town, and it's a historic building, sort of, you take that on knowing that it's a historic building and has to be maintained. And
that's not the case. You're not losing the buildings until the buildings are actually physically knocked down.
Right, and so what we're trying to do is, if there is a reasonable, if it's a reasonable undertaking to preserve and rehabilitate and restore the buildings, then that's what we would like to see happen, because that's zoning. That's sort of like, I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for? That's kind of the agreement or understanding when you bought the buildings. And so we're trying to see how we can work to keep preserving that and not lose these buildings forever.
So we'd be gaining a new building there at the same time. We're losing something old, but gaining something new. That's actually a viable use for the town here. That's what I don't understand.
Okay, I think,
Well,
I think this,
and I think.
It's over with. We got to do this. It's, I
So
know
what
where
we're
this is
looking
going.
at in terms of the, we have to look at the, under 723, there's a criteria for determining preservation and rehabilitation and restoration and reconstruction. And it's kind of, in a way, it also, it's the lens that we're looking through, And we have to understand, the historical significance of the property, the physical condition. Now, yes, this takes me to our site visit. We all went to the site back in April. And I'll provide the exhibits here. I took photos of the two buildings from the inside. And it looks like you invested some money in putting on a new roof and reframing and stabilizing the foundations and like.
Stabilizing and making it watertight. That's all I did there.
You did more than that. There's quite a bit of reframing and.
On the smaller building, that's correct.
But
also, those are all weight-bearing walls there that we reframed.
okay, I'm going to interrupt. Diane,
So,
did you want to add that as an exhibit?
Yes, I'm adding.
Okay, so what, that will be number 7 for the exhibits?
No, actually, that will be number 12 because I do want to actually just clear up.
Well, can we go back through the exhibits
yes,
then, please?
Let's go back because exhibit 7. Actually, yeah, we do that little house. So we had 1, 2.
I have through 6 here.
Right, this is a butter. But then when we met, I added 7, 8, and 9. There was the application, the January 23rd application for the February 11th, 2019.
So what is exhibit 7,
All right, so
please?
exhibit 7 is the application from January 23rd.
So is that the decision?
No, the decision is number 8. That's where there's the permit was issued and the decision was given.
So that's the 2019 decision?
Yes.
Okay.
And then
And what is 9?
is the permit that was issued for the June.
For that 2023?
Right.
That was the decision with the permit to build
Yeah.
the 2-bedroom home?
2-bedroom home and do the restoration.
Okay.
And that was in 23. And then we also added the list of consultants for qualified historic consultants as part of a technical review. That was, I think somebody brought that in.
Yep.
That was number 10.
So that's 10, and what's 11?
11 is the letter of opinion from the structural engineer.
Thank
That
you.
was dated October 4th, 2018. And so 12 would be the photos.
The photos from our site visit of April 21.
Yeah.
Do you know how many pages those are? Or I can
The
flip through.
photos?
Yeah,
1 through 9.
1 through 9.
Yeah. And I.
How many pages?
That's what she just said.
1 through
9.
1 through 9, thank you.
So, yeah,
I gave a very reasonable offer over here to try to make this thing work out properly before retaining and paying for an architect here. But it seems that you don't want to go that direction.
Well, we first actually requested the independent technical review. We've never asked for the other items necessarily. The first step of determining whether or not the demolition.
I submitted a demolition report in 2018 that said it has to come down.
Since 2018, we've also had 2 decisions to restore and build a 2-bedroom home.
Which
Since
didn't happen because we realized
2018.
that the buildings are that much far gone that it requires that much extensive restoration work that it's not viable anymore to do this. What are we going to do? The whole thing?
Excuse me,
It's easy to knock down.
as Crystal is saying, in our April hearing, our initial hearing, one of the things that we did discuss was the possibility of having a independent technical review, and you were not.
I don't agree to that. No, I'm not agreeing to that.
So then we are then left with I'm going to close the hearing and we are left with what we have in place, Mr. Silverstein.
Before you
Okay,
close,
so
I do want to add that technical review, there's different parts, like there's a technical review that might look at the historic, the physical condition, and there's a technical review that looks at the historic significance of the buildings in terms of your contribution to the town and what the impact might be on the loss. Anyway, I just wanted to add that.
Meaning that we have neither one of those reviews.
No.
We have none
we
of that
have nothing.
information.
Okay, so I am closing the hearing and thank you, Mr. Silverstein.
how long till a decision is rendered on this? Because I'll,
We have,
45 days from closing.
okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
thanks.
Thank you.
So, okay, going back to our meeting, I just want to make sure everyone is aware that on the 20th, in 2 weeks, we do have 4 applications we'll be looking at. Is everybody going to be available?
What date is it?
Yes,
Yeah.
the 20th, 2 weeks, October.
I should be.
Yes, I'm here and available.
Thank you.
I'm not available.
No, Charlie? Diane, are
Correct,
you?
I'm not available.
Okay, thank you. Diane, you available?
What date?
The 20th.
Yeah, I said that.
Oh,
already.
yes, okay.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Is there another date now?
Nope.
No, no, that's it.
How
Thank
many
you,
dates can
Diane.
there be?
Okay, so that's all I have for old or new business. So thank you all. I will take a motion to adjourn, please.
I make a motion to adjourn at 5:46.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second,
Thank you. All in favor? Cheryl, I.
Crystal, I.
John.
Diana.
Charlie? I'm sure Charlie's saying
Well, the
aye.
motion carried anyway.
Yeah.
Yes,
the motion
exactly.
carries.
All right, thank you all. Tom, thank you for joining us. Chris, sorry you weren't in the room. I always miss seeing your smiley face.
Oh, that's nice.
And Charlie, I will call you.